right, morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. What's today's topic? We're going to talk about bristle brushes that you can buy out at Harbor Freight. But I want to start with the pictures, and they get in the very high 90 percentile in terms of the review. These right here, the 3-inch wide, you get 12 of them, $8. Okay, and now let me show you a couple of the others that you can get from out there also. Okay, so this is a pretty good value too, 36 pieces, 2 inches. It says industrial grade. Now, I don't know about industrial grade. I would tell you they're good for certain intended purposes. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you this and one more. Okay, so here you go with the 1-inch wide ones, and you get 36 of these at $10. So all in all, you're getting a lot of brushes for a very inexpensive price. They're the same that you get at the big box stores, but you're getting a much better price. Question is, are they worth buying for what you're going to use them for? So let's have a discussion about it. I've pulled a lot of the comments off of the forum and the web, kind of combined them together, and I'll give you my own experience with these and what I use them for and why I feel that they're a good value. Okay, so you saw those 3 ads over these kinds of bristle brushes here. I think this is the 2-inch one. I use these a lot. 1-inch and 2-inch are the primary ones that I get. And what do I use them for? Well, I use them for finish work. They're great for boiled linseed oil, Danish oil, stuff like that. When I'm applying them to large projects, I can just swipe it on. These are not meant, I read through the criticisms and the negative comments on this. You're not picking these up to paint with or do finish work. That's a mistake if you are. You want much higher quality brushes for that. But for an all-around, just DIY project brushes, I use these in and around my drill press to sweep away the metal chips. I use them for all kinds of dusting things. Sometimes, like little bristle brushes, I'll use these even on my computer boards to clean them off. But a lot of times, I buy these primarily for the finish work in terms of like oil and oil-based finishes, because it works really well for quickly getting them on and keeping the wood saturated. Like you saw in my past videos, I use shop towels, but I use these primarily most of the time because it's easy. I can just dip them, and when I'm done, if I'm not going to use it again that day or a couple days goes by, I don't clean these up. I don't want to spend time cleaning brushes. I just chuck them, I grab another brush. So what else can you do with these? Well, here's a tip for you that I found from a while back, and I read it off of the comments in one of the sections. Now, for this container right here, I didn't do anything with this brush, but just use it. But if you cut the bristles on this brush at the halfway mark, cut them off totally, okay, and then bang this against like the side of a bench or something a bunch of times, it'll knock all of the loose bristles off that people complain about that they get in their finish. Now, I get them in my finish too when I'm applying this oil, but it's not a big deal because I can quickly wipe them off. But if I cut these bristles at that halfway point, I get far less, and there's sometimes hardly any. I mean, so it's kind of a tip for you, and you can still use it to do the same thing, the applications of oils and stuff like that. That's my primary use. Now, other people use them for basting and barbecue and cooking and stuff like that, and they say they work great. I don't, but I suppose that's another use you could have for these. So the question is, when it comes to, somebody made me a comment off one of my previous videos, you use a lot of brushing, lacquer, and varnish. Well, kinda. I don't use varnish as much as I once did. I much prefer lacquer, but I mean, that's me. My 2 methods of finishing are either lacquer by using that Badger spray gun, or I hand rub in like Danish oil or like linseed oil or tung oil or one of the other oils, and I do oil finishes. But I use these brushes for all those oil finishes. Would I use this to apply lacquer or varnish? No way. No. Definitely not. You will not be satisfied with the outcome. I don't care if you cut the bristles or what you do. This brush is not meant, again, not to do finish work, okay? So all of the negative comments about, hey, you know, I use this when I painted latex, you know, trim, and I did all this stuff, and it's just really crappy brush marks, and oh, you know, I did this with some varnish on a tabletop I was doing, and it looked like crap. Okay, remember, these are not for finishing, okay? And that's where people make a mistake. They buy an expensive finish or a decent like finishing material, like whether it's varnish or lacquer, then they pick up one of these cheap junky brushes. Okay, it's a big mistake. Get a good quality brush, learn to clean it and take care of it when you're done using it. It will last you for years. And those are the kinds of brushes that you want to use for finish work. But these are good for just general purpose, real basic kinds of other stuff. I mean, like what I described. I mean, whether it's, you know, oil or dusting. So I think I did some rough math on these. Somebody goes, well, what about the cost? I think they come out to be about 30 cents each. But you're buying them in, you know, a larger quantity depending on which one you're buying. Are you buying the 1 inch, the 2 inch, or the 3 inch? But compare this to the cost that this will cost you at one of the big box stores. It's going to cost you $1 or more, probably per brush. I mean, very easily. And so you actually are getting away with 30 cents. So 3 of these for the price of one that you got at the hardware store at one of the big boxes. This is still a great value. It's the exact same brush. Because I've looked at them. I picked this one up when it was new, and I've looked at the ones out at Home Depot. They're exactly the same. And I even bought one and brought it home and tested it against the Harbor Freight ones. They're exactly the same. They were probably manufactured in the same place. What else have I used these for? Well, I've used them for navel jelly, grease, applications of oil, aircraft stripper. That comes in a blue can. I'll try to remember to drop the link below if you're interested in stripping. I think it's one of the better stripping compounds I've run across, but I will always use one of these brushes to put it on with because it's so caustic. So those are some of the uses that I use them for. There are lots of uses for these chip brushes, and I always keep some around just like I do the little bristle brushes. Good value. So what attracts me to buying them? Well, the price, of course, and the fact that they're all right for the value. I don't want to spend, you know, 3 times that or more at the big box store. So I picked these up. It's good as far as price goes. That's my main reason for buying them, and I do have a purpose, and it works for me. I've also put them in small containers of parts cleaner and cleaned like little mechanical parts up. And I've used them, you know, I mean, to clean the parts and, you know, dust them off and everything else. They come in handy for lots of things. I mean, and you might have different uses for them if you buy them. You think of something that I haven't mentioned, drop it in the comment below. Let me know what you're using them for. Let me know what your experience is on these. But in terms of the bristles, cut them in half like I told you. Just cut half those bristles off. Slap it against the bench a bunch of times. I don't think you'll have a problem with the bristles. That's kind of a quick solution, I guess. Have I ever used these to spread hot melted wax? No, but I suppose that you could. So I appreciate the comment, but no, I haven't tried that. Okay, folks, that's all I got for this video. Good value, roughly 30 cents a piece. I give it a thumbs up. Okay, I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe. I hope you keep following me. Hit that notification bell. See you on the next video. Bye-bye, folks.